What's poppin', y'all? It's the Sound Alchemist, and today I'm back with
Gershwan,
answering your questions in another video of For the Greater.
This is a video series, this is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below. Put question in front of that question, because we get to those questions first. That is what... Oh no, I lost the question. But I had a question. I'll try to find it in a minute. The individual asked, would Guy Fieri survive in the Warhammer 40K universe? And the answer is no. His hair is heretical. His shirts are just vomit-inducing. So we'll just leave it at that. Now, the real question is, who would survive in Warhammer 40K? What individual now, who's a complete badass, would survive in 40K? And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Guilford Godfrey would definitely survive Warhammer 40K. He would become a High Lord.
Yeah, I could easily see him rising to the occasion. But not alone, though. He would have to be guided by his spiritual liege, Danny DeVito.
Yes. Them together would probably open so many gates for the Imperium to just befriend the Eldar, enter the Webway, and just get the peace that they wanted during the Great Crusade.
If circumstance allowed, I'm pretty sure Danny DeVito would go Chaos just so he could form a relationship with the Imperium. He would tranquil the warp, mold it into a figure of speech, and allow the words to be spread via Gilbert.
I am almost 100% positive that after a while, both of these two men will be venerated as gods, and we will forget the Emperor ever existed. Because the truth was that after the shamans sacrificed themselves to create the Emperor, in the afterbirth, Danny DeVito and Guilford Godfrey were born.
Mm-hmm.
So they're really strong psychers, which a lot of people don't know about. But unlike the Emperor, who's hiding at this current moment, Danny DeVito and Guilford Godfrey are out and about, doing their thing.
Mm-hmm. Just like anybody would.
Yeah. Next question.
Zionic Nexus. Do you think the Tau will make a big impact on Chaos? No. That's not their thing. The only big Chaos involvement that I know of that's been a turning point in their lore was the battle with Farsight where he got his sword. Besides that, yeah, they've come across Chaos. Yeah, they've fought, but usually they get their butts handed to them. If you look at any images of Tau fighting Chaos, you could see them getting their heads chopped off, and it's not pretty. So I think the Tau most likely want to stay away from Chaos, especially with the whole Star-Titan Nexus thing where apparently they went into the warp and the Tzeentch demons were in there. They don't want to have anything to do with it. They just want to advance technologically and expand their empire and bring everybody into the greater good and keep away from Chaos.
Basically. Next question comes from Silent Mind. He asks, do you think somewhere in the Dark Mechanicum there is a guy combining Tyranids and Necron tech to create Xeno-cyborg monstrosities? That would be totally badass. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. They have an entire faction, I guess you could say, called the Xenologists, and they study Xeno bodies and whatnot. So them studying Tyranids, they really want to know what a Tyranid is, how it works,
how it blends,
and how best to defeat it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they combined that with Necron technology.
Yeah, I could easily see them splicing two species together to create a super species, so that they could go and for example, oh, this orc is really powerful and durable. Oh, this thing can easily be controlled. Boop.
I think that would be more likely than the Tyranids and the Necrons, though, just because now that I'm thinking about it, a Xenologist really pays attention to the biological matter.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas a tech priest would be more interested in Necron technology. A Xenologist would be more interested in orcs and all that kind of stuff.
True.
Next question.
Not Alfarius asks, is mayonnaise an instrument?
What?
No, and neither is horseradish. It's from SpongeBob.
Oh, okay.
There was like a good day where like I just had that phrase like in the back of my mind playing over and over again.
About mayonnaise?
Mm-hmm. Patrick asked that to Squidward.
Oh. Ooh.
August Anderson asked a question specifically to Gersh. He says, so Gersh, is there any antimatter tech in Warhammer 40K?
No. Antimatter, from my understanding, is just like a word that people use for matter that they don't really understand. It's like there's something there, but there's nothing readable. They just call it antimatter. That's what I understand. So, in that way, there is no antimatter in the Imperium because the Imperium is pretty like backwards in science. So they wouldn't even know what that thing is. That they already don't know what that is. Does that make sense?
No. A little bit.
Next question. I have one from Inquisitive81. What if Gladiator Hulk joined an orc tribe? What if Gladiator... it would just be a big mess. Like, fighting.
Yeah.
Non-stop. Because I don't think the Hulk would back down and orcs wouldn't back down. They'll see that fight as, like, exciting.
Mm-hmm. They might think he's just a big orc.
Yeah. You have another one?
Captain Moncel. Can a Xenos become a member of the Adeptus Mechanicus? Is there anything in teachings of the Mechanicum that makes it that only humans can join?
Yeah, there's a big one, and that is that the Omnissiah has blessed humanity by giving them the gifts of knowledge, and only humanity, no one else.
What about the Jokeros?
Yeah, they don't like Jakiro weaponsmiths. Like a true believer in the Omnissiah does not care for a weaponsmith or the Jakiro weaponsmith. They see them as somebody that has knowledge, but that's about it. Same Inquisitive 81. What if Iron Man built Tau battlesuits for the Tau Empire? They would be more versatile. Mm-hmm. I feel like you're pretty like kind of backed into a corner when you do suits, because it's like you either do shooting and you have like one or two melee, but it's mainly shooting, right?
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah. Because even in like Infinity War, he had a whole, because his suit was like nanobots, so he could make whatever weapon he needed.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
He should make that then for the Tau. Because it would be like a necrodermis type of thing.
Yeah, it's really close to that actually.
But there's no like Hulkbuster style suit within the Tau? Like a giant like thing that is specifically to take on like jaguars?
Nothing in melee. No. I guess the closest thing looks wise would be the Ghost Keel. But that's like, I'm a big hulking suit, but I blend with the hood. It's all about camouflage really. So, I mean, I think they're trying to stay away from that aspect because obviously Tau is all about shooting. But yeah, I mean, it'd be nice to have a close combat suit.
Next question.
This one's by Gage Hunt. Do you think that Drago will eventually be replaced as Supreme Grandmaster for the Grey Knights? And if so, who do you think will take his seat? I think he's already been replaced. I want to say Janus, the guy that came out in the Triumvirate, the Imperium.
What happened to... Oh, he's just gone in the warp, right?
Yeah, because, I mean, you can't lead him if he's not there to lead.
Yeah.
So I think Janus became the Grandmaster. There is somebody, I just can't think of the name.
Next question comes from Inquisitive 81. What if the Joker joined a Chaos cult? The Joker, as far as like the Joker in what is that called? The really good movie
Dark Knight?
The Dark Knight. I don't think he would really fit into any category for the Chaos Gods. Because he's not like about blood and he's not sick. Unless you count mentally sick, being sick. And he's not like, well, I guess maybe pleasure, but like his pleasure is just watching people see their hero die or see their hero like succumb to hypocrisy, right?
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah. Next question.
This one's by Marek Gruska. Well, first request, and we'll get to his question. He says, Gersh, dye your hair for Orktober. not sure about the color, but make it an orky mohawk.
My hair's too long for a mohawk. And if I dye it, then it would change colors. I don't like that.
But his question is, so I've been wondering about the dreadnoughts. They contain a live space marine, or so they say. So does it mean that the dude needs something or some time to eat? Not talking about a banana or beef, but just like nutrients to keep them in his condition as not being dead.
Yep, that's the whole part of that the dreadnought's chassis, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a life support system. So there's oxygen being pumped into their bloodstream, nutrition. The Space Marines don't really need that much, but yeah. You know what? What's interesting is that there were studies done on like mice where like they weren't fed as much and actually lived longer than mice who are fed until they're hungry or whatever.
Full, yeah.
So within the dreadnought sarcophagus, I wonder if they kind of pull back on a lot of the nutrition that the Space Marine normally gets. Because a Space Marine, I think, eats 3 meals a day. If you check out our 40 Facts on the Daily Life of a Space Marine, I think it's 3 meals a day. But maybe they pull back and they don't actually feed the Space Marine, and his natural like biology just like kicks into overdrive, and that's what's helping him survive for so long. So instead of providing the nutrients to let his body continue to like produce new cells, by bringing it down, less cells are reproducing, which means that aging slows down within the
cellular degeneration,
Space Marine, yeah.
Metabolism, homeostasis, mitochondria,
chicken fried rice,
chow mein.
Last question, what you got?
This one's by Shisto Rai. Question attempt number 33, but it feels like 90. Who would win in a fight between a Primaris Marine and a Stormcast Eternal? And also, do you guys think that all first founding chapters should have their own codex? Because it's not fair, especially with all the big differences between them.
So the first question, I think a Space Marine.
Yeah, easily Space Marine.
A bolter beats whatever the hell they have.
They got like crossbows. I mean, yeah, it's 40K is more futuristic, so technology should be better. But as far as I know from the lore of the Stormcast Eternals, they're just regular people that have been kind of like imbued with Sigmar's power, which is kind of same thing for Space Marines. They've just been imbued with Gene Seed.
Yeah.
So, but I still got to give it to the Primaris.
Yep. And then what was the second question?
He's saying, do you think that all first founding chapters should have their own codex?
Oh.
For example, like the main Space Marine Codex has like Black Templars, Salamanders, all lumped into one.
Yeah. Yeah, I do agree to a certain extent. They do have their own like specialty about each one, but really like for the Salamanders, Flamers would be their specialty, and there's
the weaponry,
and there's only so much you can do with that. Iron Hands, I feel like they would be a good chapter just to be their standalone faction. What else? I don't think the Blood Angels should have their own chapter. I don't think that they're.
Yeah, I could easily see them being incorporated into the main rulebook.
Yeah.
But I mean, you could always give the counter argument for every chapter.
That's true.
I mean, I in my opinion, just make one huge book with all the Space Marine stuff.
Yeah, we could do that. Yeah.
Because then that way you don't have to wait like a year and a half for Space Wolves when you can just put out the. Yeah, it's gonna be more money, but like you've got everything right there.
Right.
If you ever wanted to know, how do Blood Angels compare to the Space Wolves? Instead of waiting for both codices to come out, it's already there.
Right.
But at the same time, if everything's in the same book, you can't spend all that time going into each battle, into the lore and all that. So it's give and take.
Give and take.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, what if they brought little books for every like chapter, like $18 books, just focusing on each one individually?
I think if they focused on the lore, that would be awesome. If they just gave you data sheets, that'd just be a ripoff. Yeah. Like they're just trying to make money.
Right. Like with the indexes.
Yeah.
Here's the index. 2 months later, here's the rule book.
Yeah. No, but I like the whole idea of the index because with the index now you can do a bunch of Imperium stuff. Yeah. So that idea of like all the Space Marine chapters, they're in that one Imperium book 1.
Yep.
Which is pretty nice. But yeah. That answered the question, right?
Mm-hmm.
I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, hit the like button and comment if you guys have more questions.
Yeah, obviously we don't get to every question, so just like this guy did, keep asking your question. Eventually, if you see a question that you like, hit that like button on it, because it'll move it higher in the ranks of questions. And yeah.
With that said, this was Gershwan.
This is the Sound Alchemist, and we are out of here.
Always used to put my freedom first in any